Valerie. Welcome to Coaches on a Mission. Thank you so much for throwing your hat in the ring today.
Thank you. I'm really happy to be here.
So, you've been in the hive now for a handful of months. How is it going
Mhm.
for you?
It's good. I have been trying really hard to not just dive into all of the things that I want to do
Mhm.
and do the habit building and the taking my time. I'm preparing to do a client surge soon with your updated model, which I love, and I'm ready to dive into list building. And so it's been really helpful to have a plan. That's really
Yeah,
what I've needed. I think I've just been throwing spaghetti at the wall the last couple of years. And so to have that, to have a plan, like this is what you need to do in this order, and to slow down
slow
and to just
down.
take my time. And that's, yeah, working on
That
that.
that for me is the hardest part.
Mm-hmm.
But I've
Mm-hmm.
been in business for long enough to know that I don't want to say the slower I go because that is also misleading, but I'll say it this way. The more I focus on habits instead of quick fixes, the
Mm-hmm.
faster I actually get to the thing that I want. So in the moment, it feels really slow. But when I
Mm-hmm.
take a step back and look at the past 6 months or the past
Mm-hmm.
6 years, it's actually much more swift. So
Mm-hmm.
we are in this together. I totally get the discomfort of like building things in layers because it
Mm-hmm.
can feel tiresome.
It can, yeah.
Yeah.
But that's my goal in 2022 is just little things done every day, tiny
Yeah.
steps, and I will get there.
Yeah. Great. So I know we're going to have a conversation about your lead magnet today. Can
Mm-hmm.
you share with everybody listening what you want to walk away with from our time together?
Mm-hmm. So a I would love ideas around building a lead magnet that is engaging and fun. My target audience is busy moms, overwhelmed moms, and they don't have time to download a PDF and fill out a workbook. They want something quick, maybe engaging. They're scrolling through Instagram, like, oh, this looks fun. I'm going to read this or take this quiz or listen to this and have this idea, but something that sucks them in and really gets them excited and
Hmm.
moves them slowly towards that, like there is a solution out there for
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
And so,
Got it.
yeah, some ideas around a lead magnet.
Got it. And so, unlike actually, tell everyone more specifically about your
Mm.
audience and how you help them.
Okay. So I work with overwhelmed and overcommitted moms, busy moms, helping them spend quality time with their families, on themselves, on their business, helping them stop feeling pulled in way too many directions, and hopefully stopping the guilt and the chaos that comes along with all of that.
Right. So, the last thing you want to do is design a lead magnet that contributes to them feeling pulled in a bunch of different
Mm-hmm.
directions, adding
Mm-hmm.
another thing to their to do list that they can then feel guilty about
Right.
not getting to.
Yeah. Yeah. They don't need that.
Right. You mentioned helping moms spend quality time in all of these areas, and one of them was in their business. So, is your niche as narrow as busy moms with a business?
It is not. It's right
Okay.
now. It's a little bit more broad. So that could be focusing on themselves, on their career, on their business, whatever that looks like
Okay.
for them.
Got it. Okay, that's good for me to know. So, as a busy mom, I might feel like there's an area of my life that I'm not making time for and I'm not as
Mm-hmm.
focused on. And so you could help me in that area, but another member in your program may have a different area that they're focusing on.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
great.
Yep. Absolutely.
All right. So, have you heard me talk before, or have you heard others talk about like the three stages of awareness that your audience lives in?
A little bit like the pain aware and problem aware. Is
Yeah.
that? Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Let me just summarize it for our listeners so everybody can be on the
Perfect.
same page. And I feel like this might be a good place for us to begin. So we give them
Mm-hmm.
a lead magnet that's not only valuable, but something that they will engage with because that's how they're
Mm-hmm.
going to trust you and
Mm-hmm.
by become more solution aware. So
Mm-hmm.
for anyone listening who's not aware of this, your our audience is going to fit into one of three buckets. Now we're putting people in buckets. So that's all right. Bear with me here. The first really is unaware. Some people will
Mm-hmm.
also call this pain aware. right? But for me, it's really just unaware that the experience I'm having is a fixable problem. It might just be like that's how life goes and I am resigned to it. This segment of your audience, they're not going to be buyers right away. They need to move up the ladder, the awareness ladder. So then the second category is problem aware, right? Or pain aware. So I'm aware now that this thing is not working for me. I'm not totally bought in that either a solution exists or I'm capable of a solution, but I'm at least aware of the discomfort that I'm in and open to changing it, fingers crossed. And then we have solution aware. Our solution aware people are often our dream clients because we don't have to convince them that the way they're living isn't helpful, right? They're also committed to a solution, and now they're just looking for the right solution for them. So when you think about your dream client who's in that solution aware category, tell me a little bit about this person. And more specifically, what is the problem and what is the solution that this mom is aware of?
Yeah. So it would be somebody who they know that something isn't working. Their to-do list is too much. They're overwhelmed by it. They are maybe feeling frustrated that they're doing too much on their own around the house. So maybe their partner or their kids aren't helping in a manner that like we're all a team kind of thing. I don't like using the word help here. It's not helping mom, but it's being a team. If they're a single parent, then they're just really struggling with they're just feeling like there's way too much to do. They're never going to make it through. They're constantly putting out fires, but they know that there's something that can be done about this. And they are ready to experiment and play with and see what can be fixed and move beyond maybe just straight up like productivity hacks that you might Google, which might fix things in the short term, but in the long term isn't going to be helpful. And so they're ready to dive in and really make some changes in their life.
Okay, I love that last piece that you just shared. So this mom is someone who has tried a productivity, like top 3 productivity hacks from that they found on Pinterest.
Right.
Right. And there wasn't it didn't solve.
It didn't stick. Yeah.
Didn't stick. Okay. Okay. What if this busy mom was aware of a cause to the chaos that they're in? And what would the cause, other than like, I'm doing this alone, right? But like a cause that they are responsible for, right? That they can own. Are they aware of something like that?
They maybe a little, they might not have a name for it. I think it would be an awareness of they have taken on way too much. So I think like our society just tells moms they need to be the one to do it all. And if they don't do it, it's not done right. And so they've bought into this mindset that they need to be the one that's loading the dishwasher, and cleaning the kitchen and making the dinners and packing their kids' lunches and like doing all of these things that they don't need to be doing, but feel like they should be. And so it's on top of maybe having a full-time job or running a business or simply raising kids and doing all of this stuff. And it just reaches a point where it's too much, and really understanding that something in their family or their household needs to shift.
Got it. So I may not be able to pinpoint. I may not say, oh, I need to be better at asking for help, or I don't have good boundaries. It's not that. It's like, okay, this is too much and it needs to stop. Okay. Okay. So what, if any, thoughts have you given to, okay, I want to ask a different question first. What are you really clear about when it comes to your lead magnet that won't be helpful or that you don't want to do? What's on your no lead magnet list?
So I know that a PDF or a workbook or an ebook or something like that is just going to sit in somebody's inbox and collect dust or end up maybe printed. And then it's just one more thing that they feel guilty about. Like, I really should take care of that, but I'm not. And they just get rid of it. So I want it to be something that's engaging and quick.
When you tell me more about what you mean when you say quick.
So it's not something that they need to clear 30 minutes in their day to sit down and read and maybe answer questions and journal. It's kind of a quick hit that sparks an idea, like, oh, I do have this problem and there is a solution, or at least like gets them thinking in the back of their head, like, okay, maybe I don't have to live like this forever and ever. So quick, and just that it's like a short audio, or it's a short something that just is exciting and engaging and sparks an idea.
Got it. So could it be a series of those quick things?
Yeah. Sort of guide them. Because I worry that a lot of my clients are still in the pain aware, which I know is kind of they're not really your clients, because they're going to take a long time to get there. And so I want to reach the middle folks, the problem aware, that maybe they don't know there's a solution, but they just know something isn't working. And just also spark it.
Help those unaware or pain aware people become more problem aware. Like, each category of person could move one rung up the awareness ladder with this. Okay. You mentioned something earlier that I want to play around with, which was, I'm not going to get the words exactly right, Valerie, but something that catches their attention. They're scrolling for Instagram and they stop. So what is a scroll stopping? What is a scroll stopping hooky headline or hooky problem that you could catch their attention with?
That is the $1 million question right there.
Right. And that's a wrap. This episode is done. Tune in next week.
Something that just gets right at one of their pain points, maybe. Either like focusing on are you feeling pulled in too many directions? Are you tired of juggling all of these balls? Are you tired of, I always lean into questions. It seems to be where my brain goes, is a question of are you sick of whatever this is? Or on the positive side of that, are you ready to feel this way? Or to end your day feeling like you have accomplished enough. You feel at the end of the day that you are at peace, that you have done enough today. My intuitive hit on that one
is, you mentioned a lot of your audience is still in that problem aware. It's likely going to stop there. A problem we often fall into when we as coaches create lead magnets is we don't speak directly to our audience's lived experience. So I'm going to make up a different example, right? Let's pretend that you love tech, right? Or let's see if I can come up with an example for your audience, right? Even something like, it's easy to create more time for self-care. That just makes me want to flip you off, actually, because that is not my experience. So don't tell me it's before I'm going to believe you that it's easy. I need to believe you that you understand me. So these aspirational headlines, I don't know if they will land as acutely as something that really, like you said, speaks to their pain. Did you notice that even when you were sharing your ideas, the difference in your own energy?
Yeah, I agree. And I think it's because yes, I agree. I would flip myself off if I said something about self-care. Just what are you doing? I can barely, that.
What is this word you speak of, self-care?
What is that? I don't even know what that means. Yes. And I think sometimes I feel like I lean too much into that, not really negativity, but that pain, but I think that's where my clients are. And so I want to honor that and be open to that before they're ready to dive into a solution. So I'm with you on that.
What's the belief I need to have? So I get that you get me, right? Because you're speaking to my experience. What's a belief I need to have about myself or about the world at large, right? About my family, in order to be ready to work with you?
Mhm.
Because that's where we want your lead magnet to get
To
these
get them.
moms.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I think the first thing that comes to mind is that moms don't think they have time for this. Like, I don't need one more thing on my plate to do. And it's walking them through that things aren't going to change if you don't do something now. So, where do you want to be in 3 months or 6 months that might be different from where you are now? So, it's that, or I've also heard that, like, I don't need one more thing to fail at. Like, and it's just sort of like, I want to hug these moms of just
Yeah.
like, yeah, this is designed to help you. You can't fail at this. Like, you
Mhm.
can't fail at our work together unless you're just truly not doing anything, I guess,
Right.
in
Unless
which
you're
case we're
trying to fail.
Mhm,
Right. Yeah.
right.
Mhm.
So it's that belief that putting in this time is going to give you more time down the road, that like but this doesn't have to be a huge investment. I'm not asking for hours of your time each week.
Mhm. Mhm.
And I think it's sort of that belief that like, I am worthy of taking this time and I can make this happen,
Yeah. Yes.
which may be two different things, but
Yeah. I think they go together. I think I need to have both. Yes, the thing I want is possible and I am capable of having it. I think
mhm,
that's it.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Do you hear your mom say, I don't need one more thing on my plate? Are those your
Mhm.
words or yeah?
I have heard that before. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
That's the headline that would get my attention. I would stop scrolling at that.
Okay.
You don't need one
Yeah.
more thing on your plate.
Hmm.
Like,
Hmm.
amen. Yes. Screenshot.
Yeah, good.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Love
So
that.
I think now let's get more clear on a possible structure or function of the delivery of the actual lead magnet. And
Hmm.
then, because I have a feeling we're both thinking a similar thing, and then we can brainstorm some of the content if that would be helpful.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay,
That'd be
great.
great.
So my understanding so far is we want to help unaware people become problem aware. We want to help those problem aware people become solution aware. We
Hmm.
want to set them up to believe that they can have and do deserve more time and
Hmm.
spaciousness,
Hmm.
and that is actually possible. And we're going to lean into their lived experience right now, which is somewhere along the lines of you don't need one more thing on your plate.
Hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
So, what ideas did you have about a lead magnet for this audience?
Yeah. Something like a checklist, or I know quizzes are all the rage. At one point I'd thought about doing a bingo thing, but my questions I want to ask or the things to cross off were too long. And it would be
It
like,
wouldn't fit on the bingo
it
card.
wouldn't fit on the bingo card. Or I'd be asking the same question in like 5 different ways. So that didn't work very well. But something like that where you'll cross off 5 in a row questions of like, do you have too much on your plate? Are you tired of putting out fires? Like yes or no questions that you're reading through going, yes, and that is me. And oh my gosh, there's this woman in my head. And you get to the end of it and it leads them somewhere. And maybe it's to some audio stuff that continues to move them on that path.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Something like that, starting there.
I love the idea of a quiz for this audience.
Mm-hmm.
My quiz, I laugh because I've got maybe 4 lead magnets.
Mm-hmm.
And my quiz lead magnet, that landing page converts at like 80% or something extremely high. And it's the only landing page that doesn't have my picture on it. So take that to mean whatever you want. But, and I'll link to it in the show notes. But the tagline says, and let's actually pull it up here. You can go to dallastravers.com for our listeners /quiz to see it, but it might be good, Valerie, for the two of us to look at it.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think the reason it converts so well, number one, quizzes are an easy thing to say yes to. Number two, coaches, what's your superpower? Great. But then
Mm-hmm.
it says, take this 45-second quiz to learn. So right away on this landing page, I'm overcoming that I don't have time for this obstacle.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So an idea that I had, and I'm wondering if these could go together really well. would be the quiz as the lead magnet, and maybe we can come up with 3 archetypes of the 3 types of moms in your community.
Okay.
And then if I'm the superstar mom, or I'm the coffee mug mom, I'm just looking at what's on my desk right now, right? Then you give me a very specific 10-minute action I can take in the next 72 hours. And then I just don't want you emailing these people. I want you texting them.
I know we've talked about that before, and I really like that idea. Something audio based, like a text that either is just a short, like follow up. Maybe there's nothing more than just a couple sentences.
Yes.
And maybe a link to, if you want a little bit more information, here's an audio thing.
Yeah. Talita Letterlow, who's in the Hive, and we tracked her progress for a whole year last year. She designed a quiz where you're opting in for truth bombs. Her audience is high achieving, like they're high performers, so they're very busy. A lot of them are executives, and like a PDF, they don't want a PDF. They don't want to watch a video either, right? And so she created a series of truth bombs, which are kind of these thought reversals, right? One of them, which is my favorite, was something like, you want the C-suite, eat more kale. Right? Like, you got to perform, you got to take care of yourself if you're going to at that level. And they're these tiny little text messages that are delivered over the course of, I don't know, 4 weeks or something, and it's not even every day. So there's you start to feel like you are in a relationship with her, because the rhythm of the text is very similar to what it would be like with a friend.
I love that.
And some of these truth bombs have a link for more if you want it, right? Like a link to a video or something else, but that could be really fun. And you could create, and it doesn't have to be a lot. It could even just be 3 to 5 text messages over the course of 15 days. Result specific.
Okay. Like
how does that all land for you?
Yeah, I like that. I really, that feels doable on my end, as well as kind of fun for the client too, or the potential client or lead, to really get some ideas, get a sense of, they can be like playful. I have lots of, I call it when I get on my soapbox. So all sorts of little nuggets that I could just shrink down to a smaller soapbox and put it in there. Yeah, I like that. I'm not sure about the different archetypes. I'd like to dig into that a little bit more. Kind of what you're thinking there, what that might look like. But I think it's totally doable. I like that.
Great. So the idea of a quiz is it diagnoses me or labels me, right? If I'm in the back of Cosmopolitan magazine and I take a quiz, like what kind of lover are you? And then it'll tell me I'm a sunset lover or whatever. Okay. So what I'd like to do is share with you how I backed into my quiz, and we could just use it as a template. I think it might be quite helpful. Are you open to that?
I am. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, great. So as you know, inside of the Hive, there are like 8 individual courses delivered in a sequence to take you from like getting clear on your messaging so that you can then get clients and build your list and launch a course, right? So even though we have those 8 courses, they really fall into 3 categories.
Okay.
Right? Category 1 is the messaging, the offerings bullseye, and client search. A coach who lands in that category, they are still building their clarity and confidence around their niche and their message. And they don't really even think much further beyond, like, can I please just get 4 clients? It would be awesome to actually have some clients and know that I know how to go and get the next one. Then in that next category of list building, they're I don't want to say problems, but their business is evolving. And so there are different opportunities. And so where they're at is I believe in the work that I do. I get my clients results and I feel light years away from being able to scale this in some way.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And then that last category are coaches who are like, I've been doing this. I know what I'm doing. I either have a course and just haven't launched it right, or the course lives in my head and I need to know how to bring it out into the world.
Mm-hmm.
So understanding these three archetypes, I then came up with a series of questions around these three themes, right? So a question about messaging, right? When people ask me what I do, I often reply with a coach who's not confident about their message. They're going to answer that question very differently than a coach who is about ready to launch a course.
Mm-hmm.
So step one was to just get really clear on the categories. To be honest, my quiz is actually 5 results, not 3, but we're going to just keep this conversation simple, right? I want to get clear on the categories. Then I want to ask questions inspired by what my program actually delivers.
Okay.
And then how would a mom in this category answer this question? How would a mom in the next category answer this question? And this is the thing, in my perspective, that ensures that, number one, your audience feels like you understand them.
Mm-hmm.
Number two, practically, it ensures that your quiz results are accurate.
Yeah, which we want. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so what is it that you would like to diagnose or help these moms uncover about themselves?
Mm-hmm. Let's see. So as you were sharing kind of how your quiz works, I was thinking of like the mom who signs their kids up for every activity under the sun. They are always busy, constantly doing stuff. And maybe they're doing it because they enjoy all of it, but maybe they're doing it because they feel they need to. Like, what would happen if my kids had unstructured time? Like, things would fall apart. Or that's their thinking. They're saying yes to every birthday party invitation that comes their way. Like, they're just constantly going.
Mm-hmm.
And they're exhausted, but they don't know how to take that step back and like really look at, do we need to be doing all of these things?
Mm-hmm.
Do we need to be saying yes to all of this stuff? But they feel like they need to, because that's what society is telling them.
Okay, so their motivation is like, kids need structure, kids need activities. The more structure we have, the more control I have, or the more easily things will go.
It feels like things are in control because they're doing that. I mean, I know she's not a client, but somebody that I think of when I think of this person who just goes and goes and goes and goes. And then she gets the flu and she's down for like 4 days. And she's commenting on Facebook like, oh, look at all this sleep. I don't have bags under my eyes anymore. And I'm thinking, well, maybe if we just took a step back and you got sleep regularly, this wouldn't be a thing. So it's sort of somebody who is just constantly going.
Yeah.
And there could be a couple of reasons why they're doing that, but like they're just very active.
Yep. Got it. Okay.
Then there would be the mom who is main character of Bad Moms, the movie, who is just like, she does everything for her kids. Like in the movie, her kids are middle schoolers, I think. And she's making them breakfast every day and she's packing their lunches and she's doing their homework and she's doing because that's what she believes a good mom does.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's that doing all of these things for my family. And again, it's exhausting. It is not sustainable. And it's not really helping your kids because they don't know how to function on their own.
Yes. Yeah. So is that the definition of a helicopter parent?
I think the other one might be more of a helicopter parent. Maybe it's a combination of the two.
Okay. I'm just for my notes, I'm just writing down like doing everything.
Yeah. And they're doing their laundry and they're cleaning the house and they're just like taking it all on and possibly mad that nobody else is helping.
But not asking for
But
help.
they're not
Just like
asking.
waiting for
Yeah.
people to notice. Got it. So
Right.
they're like in the role of servant.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Those are my favorite moms.
Oh, they are? Okay. Any moms listening, Valerie can help.
There's got to be a third one out there. Those are the first two that come to mind.
What about the mom? Are both of these moms also working moms? Like, do they also have jobs? Yeah.
They'd also be working.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So we don't have to make something up here, but how about an action item for you around this would be to just really ask yourself, am I leaving out a category, or is it really one of these? Is it really one of these two? And then we get to use our creative intelligence here to design a bit of an archetype.
Okay.
Right? So we'll go back to my quiz as an example. What I did was, this quiz is about uncovering your superpower, right? And the way I looked at it was, if you are someone who you scored that you need to build your list, that means your superpower is that you're clear on who your audience is and you know that you can help them because you've ticked that first box, right? If you're someone who is still not clear on your messaging and you're just getting started, your superpower is limitless potential, right? So I turned it, it was always a positive, but it was basically, the thing that you're good at is the thing in my system that you just finished. And then the opportunity for growth is the thing that you're moving into. So everyone just got this really empowering label, right? Leadership, and you're a great connector, but it was really connected back to my curriculum. Because what we don't want is for a mom to take this quiz and then for you to say, congratulations, you scored the servant. That's not very nice.
Right. That's fair.
So what would you like to do now that we've just started brainstorming these categories, which is the first piece, in order to make the quiz exciting and uplifting for your moms to take?
Yeah. Maybe getting into those archetypes, kind of coming up with some positive names for it versus the servant and the structure demander or committee, whatever that overachiever.
Great. And there are a number of ways you could do this. You could take characters from classic books. You could take pop stars. You could just take, like I did, an empowering label, right? But the next step will be for you to just really think through, how many categories are there really? And how can I position these so that they're accurate, but also highlight their strengths, right?
Yeah. So something like, instead of a servant, I don't know if a giver is still, okay.
Yeah, so let this percolate a little.
I'll have to,
Yeah, the giver, or even like, what's her motivation, right? They're not doing this. That's only loving motivation. So looking at like the motivation behind these actions could reveal something for you.
Yeah, I think it could be fun. And I would need to sit with this for a while to pull in a movie or a TV show. And I think that adds a sense of play to it.
Yeah, agreed.
And a kind of fun. And I think you are this character from this. And I don't know if they all need to come from the same movie or series, or if I can pull from different ones of just like, you are this person and you are this person. And then it gives them that idea and
a frame of reference that's also outside of themselves, which I think would be helpful. Great.
Yeah.
All right. Like, so once you're clear-ish on the archetypes, it's time to design your questions. And I'd love to help you get started on this step.
Okay.
Inside of your program, what, if any, tell me a little bit about your progress pathway.
So the very first, we'll say, two things that we do when a client starts working with me is asking them the question of, if we could wave a magic wand, what would your life look like in 6 months? How would your days feel? What would your weeks look like? And we get a really clear description of where they want to go, because that gives us a goal.
Yeah, great.
The second piece in there is tracking their time. So I have them document how they spend their entire days for a solid week. So we can take a look at where their time really is going and get a sense of like, this is where you are and this is where you want to be. And then we can come up with a plan and build through that. And then it becomes just small steps along the way. Everything is individualized to the person. Like I have a general plan, but it's all designed for that person.
Got it. Okay. So let's create a question or two around this first magic wand question. Now, we have to be really careful with quizzes that, I'll just say it differently. Every question is very intentional. It's designed to build that trust, right? Like help them see that they're capable of having the thing that they have, but also give them accurate results. Okay. So we wouldn't have a question in a quiz be, if you could wave a magic wand, what vision of your ideal week would that look like? Because that's too broad.
It's too broad.
And it doesn't matter what my answer to that would be. It's not going to help you know if I'm the busy mom or if I'm the servant mom. Every question has to be really designed to reveal the correct result. But it might be something about when someone asks me to design my ideal day, the first thing I think of is, right, like, well, I don't know, like, how am I going to fit my ideal? I'm already scheduled out for the next 3 months. So I don't even know why I would design my ideal day because the calendar's already in place, right? The busy mom who's overscheduled would choose that.
Yeah.
Right? And the other mom might say, my ideal day would be my 14-year-old son putting his laundry away, right? Because I'm tired of doing it for him. So we really get into their psychology, right? Which is the thing that reveals the correct answer, but also helps. It's like holding a mirror up to them too, right?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So let's come up with a couple of questions related to time tracking.
Okay. Oh my gosh, of course my brain just went blank here. Let's see. I love the questions you just shared. So something like, I seem to be the only one ever loading the dishwasher. Or I have lots of dishwasher stories, so I come back to the dishwasher a lot.
That could be the entire quiz.
It's a key part of my business is the dishwasher. I am the only one ever loading the dishwasher, or I can constantly find a better way. I'm constantly reloading the dishwasher because nobody else in my family can do it right.
Got it. Oh, you know what you just inspired for me is you could have questions related to these core issues you coach around. So a very specific dishwasher question. Right. What are some other core issues that no matter what someone's ideal week looks like, right? No matter what kind of mom they are, there are likely some core issues that come up often. Give me some more examples. So we have the dishwasher.
It could be something related to the entryway. So something about kids coming home, just dropping everything on the floor and like running off to go do homework or watch TV, or like I'm constantly asking my kids or my family to do X, Y, and Z. No matter how much, I nag them. I don't really want to use the word nag. How much, like I'm just constantly asking for these 3 things to happen.
Great. Is that the busy mom or is that the servant mom?
That would be the servant mom, because she's going to be the one that empties the backpacks and hangs up the jackets and empties the lunch boxes because her kids have come home and thrown them on the ground and just run off to go do something.
Got it.
So she's either going to sit there and have the fight with them and they're still not going to do it, and she's going to do it anyway, but angrily this time, or she's just going to do it because she's just done fighting, or she's always done it.
Yeah.
And that's why her kids don't do it.
Yeah.
But she's going to be mad about it.
She's going to be mad about it.
Um,
How
yeah.
does the busy mom relate to the entryway differently?
It's probably still a mess, but this one is going to have maybe more sports equipment in it, or dance equipment, or stuff. Not that the servant mom doesn't have those things too, but maybe it's where there's no time. Everything's just in the car because you pick the kids up from school and then you're going from one place to another. And so your entryway might not get as messy. Your car is a mess because you're living out of your car.
Yes.
5 days a week in the afternoon.
Got it. So what's a question? I want to take you through this. This is so juicy. So what's a question we could ask? And sometimes it's coming up with the answers first, like you just did, is more helpful.
Mm-hmm.
So the busy mom is like, entryway, what are you talking about? Take a look at the trunk of my car.
Yeah.
Like, my entryway is fine, but the car is a disaster.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah. Like, I don't know what's growing underneath my seat.
Right.
Or it could just be like a multiple choice of like, in the trunk of my car, I have sports equipment, dance equipment, workout clothes for me that I never use, snacks for the team, because you may also be the mom that's like always signing up to bring juice boxes.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what people bring to games anymore, but we'll go with juice box, like snacks. Yeah. So it's sort of that, like, these are the things that you're going to find in the back of my car.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. What about the servant mom? Is it different? Maybe the approach is different. Where it's like, yeah, you can find all of these things and I have organized them all, right? And then the servant mom is like, we're doing our best. Frankly, I don't care about the trunk of the car anymore. I've got other
bigger
things
fish to fry.
Yeah, I'm dealing with the dishwasher.
Right.
Okay. I want to hear from you, Valerie. We've done a little brainstorming here. What is and it might change, but how are you going to begin your approach to designing these 7 quiz questions?
Mm-hmm. I think it's getting more clear on the archetypes, like really sinking into who these moms are. What do their days look like? How are they feeling about everything? Yeah. And actually the third archetype could be somebody who's got younger kids who like isn't in this mess yet. So it's really like their car smells because something has spilled underneath the seat because their kids are toddlers and like snacking in the car. So they're not in the, like, my kids are older and into everything. They're 2 and I take them to the zoo and work and they're like, that could just be because it's a little bit.
It is a little different.
Just a hair different. But I think it's getting really clear on who these moms are and what their real struggles are and describing that, like, what is in the back of my car?
Yeah.
I'm so tired of my dishwasher. I'm so tired of the laundry or the towels on the floor, or arguing with my kids about this and that homework and making lunches, and which is a nightly battle in my own house some days.
Okay. So I heard you say the next step is to get really clear on the archetypes. From there, step 2 would be identifying how some core themes show up for each archetype and getting really going there. It's like another version of a ideal client, like an avatar workshop or worksheet, right? Yeah. I wrote down clarifying their motivation.
Okay.
Right, like what's behind their behaviors, because that's where you will drop hints in your multiple choice answers.
Okay. Yeah,
and then once you've got that piece in place, is the next step playing around with designing your questions? Okay, great. So that's going to be step 4. How do you want your moms to feel after taking this quiz?
Hopeful. Like, okay, so these are like sort of like I'm in their heads. Like, I know what they are going through. And maybe they're not quite solution aware yet, but they're realizing that there's somebody out there who gets what they're going through, who gets them.
Okay.
So hopeful and the intrigued. I want to know more. I took this quiz and now what? What's, I don't want them to take it and disappear. I want them to at least be sparked, have an idea, just sparked of okay, what's next?
Great. Okay. So let's imagine I've taken the quiz and I'm on the results page for my quiz. What would you like to share with me there to help me feel hopeful and intrigued?
I love your idea of a quick action. So a 10-minute action or idea, but something tangible and doable, because I don't want this to be you're going to spend 3 hours on your Saturday morning cleaning out your mudroom and organizing it.
No.
Because they're just going to delete this tab and move on. So I want it to be something that is doable and tangible, is not going to take long. I'll have to spend some time really thinking about what that looks like. Because I would love to tell them to organize their mudroom or the back of their trunk. But that is not the answer.
No, and that can be tackled when you're working together.
Exactly.
They're
not there yet
on their own. Yeah.
Yeah, they're not there yet. So something doable, and it could be really for both moms, something like spending 10 minutes having a conversation with your family about what a routine might look like. We're not implementing it. We're not, but then that's not really tangible. I'll have to think about it.
Yeah, I thought of something. I'm really getting, I'm going micro here, but it could be something as simple as, all right, so I'm busted. Yes, I'm the busy mom. Everything is scheduled. My kids are doing every activity under the sun. The calendar is full. Maybe there's some control. There's a lot of obligation. Okay, I feel seen. Thank you very much. But the 10-minute action could be something as simple as say this 45 times in the next 24 hours to yourself. Right? It's okay. It's okay to have white space on the calendar. Right? Or something where it's almost I don't actually have to do anything. It's a thought.
It's a thought process. I love that. Yeah, because that's doable, and it's starting shifting your thinking is a really big part of my work. And I think it starts there. So much of it starts there, because that's what any of these moms need to know is it does not have to be this way. Yeah. But it starts with your mindset.
Right. So I would revisit some of the coaching you provide when you ask that magic wand question. Okay. And then I'm making it up here, but what are you what are you most afraid of? If you change this pattern, what might happen? Or I would want it something aspirational, but sure. And then the assignment is the next time you hop in the shower, ask yourself this question and spend your shower contemplating the answer, something literally that simple, so you don't lose them.
Yeah, I like that. That's doable. It's absolutely, it doesn't require overhauling anything. Yeah. But it's getting them thinking about it.
Yeah. And then once that's all created, you can play around with these truth bomb text messages. Right. I don't know how much they're on Instagram, but maybe the next step is to get them to follow you. Then you have to come back on the show and have to talk about your Instagram marketing plan, right? But something where you can engage them, right? And they really feel a connection to you. So whether that's getting these text messages, or there's another piece there on the nurture side of it. But let's get your quiz created and then see what inspiration comes in terms of the follow through.
Okay. Yeah, I love that. That feels good and doable.
So what, if any, questions do you have for me?
I don't know if I have any right now. I think this feels I love the idea of a quiz, coming up with these archetypes and really sinking into who these moms are and getting clear on what they're going through. Yeah, I think, and then the questions. Do you see the questions more as yes or no or multiple choice or a combination of the above?
Yeah, I will. I'm going to share my screen so everybody listening, um, we will link to this so you all have a reference, but let me show you a couple of examples here.
Okay.
All right, so I'm taking the quiz. Which question do you need answered most right now?
Mm-hmm.
Right? I'm ready to launch a course, but will people actually buy it? That's the coach who's ready to launch a course. I'm using the
Mm-hmm.
words right in the answer, right?
Okay.
Another one that I'm reading here is what's the best way to be more visible and build my mailing list? I
Mm-hmm.
wonder what
Huh.
category they fall into, right? Why does it feel like I work all the time? So this is the
Mm-hmm.
category for the team traction module where okay, I need to, it's time to hire. How can I tell if I'm ready to really do this coaching thing? That's for the newbie who needs
Mm-hmm.
to work on messaging. Or what's the best way to find more paying clients? Right? That's for the client search people. So because you know the Hive curriculum, you can almost see like,
See
okay,
where
I,
they fall.
I see what
Uh-huh.
she's doing here. Let's look at one more example. How confident are you about? So for your so this
Mm-hmm.
says, how confident are you about your messaging, right? I'll just read two answers for our audience. I'm pretty new, so it's hard to talk about what I do in words that click. That's for the coach who's new and needs to work on messaging, right? Another one is, I'm not sure if the niche I've chosen will actually bring in paying clients, which is what I need right now. So that's the person who's chosen a message, but they have not client searched. Right. So you
Mm-hmm.
could take something like this and say, how confident do you feel about like keeping the family on schedule? And
Mm-hmm.
the busy mom might say, I've got that on lockdown. I live and breathe my calendar. So even though it's stressful, we'll always get where we need to go on time.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other mom might say, the doing everything mom would be like, I try my best, but honestly, I'm so overwhelmed with packing lunches, tidying up. Sometimes we run late.
Mm-hmm.
And the toddler mom might be like, every day is totally, I don't schedule much because we're still figuring out nap time.
Mm-hmm.
So really designing it where it's really hard to get the wrong answer.
Okay.
Is that helpful to see this?
Yes, I like that. And this is totally, I'm sure that I have these words documented. I know I do. So it's really coming up with those questions to dig into that.
Yeah. And I would just want to
Mhm.
underscore, we come up with the questions by looking at the outcome that
Mhm.
we help our clients achieve and the milestones they reach on
Mhm.
their way to that outcome.
Yeah. Yeah. So there could be questions in there too about systems, routines. Like
Yeah.
I have our morning routine down solid. We're out the door every day on time, or I don't know what the heck I'm doing from the minute I wake up to, yeah. Okay. I
Yeah.
can come up with
Or
those.
even like, yeah, we have a morning routine, but that's only because, but my partner wouldn't even know what it is,
Ooh, yes.
right?
Yeah. I got to include that in there. Yeah.
Right. Because
Yeah.
there's a really clear distinction
Mm-hmm.
between those two. So
Mm-hmm.
I guess
Mm-hmm.
the
Yeah.
answers, the direction that I took around this was the multiple choice answers. I wrote them as actual thoughts or things that my audience would say. I try to really get into, like I said earlier, their psychology.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Fun. Okay,
Yeah. I love that.
fun. So I'd love to hold some space for accountability and support for you.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you need in order to really feel like you're moving forward on this lead magnet?
Mm-hmm. So I know, or I could probably share once I come up with the descriptions of the archetypes, share them in the Hive's Facebook group.
Okay.
And just, I know there are moms in that group, and just have some people read through that and see if I've been detailed enough, because I don't want to keep it super high level, but I could see myself going there, like just trying to check this thing off my to-do list. And so really spending that time to sink into these, like embody these moms and really getting their descriptions down. I think that's the next step for me, is really thinking through that
Yeah,
and then
that's
sharing that.
and
Mhm.
sharing it. Great. And
Yeah.
when you ask for feedback, please don't ask, tell me what you think or how does this land for you?
Okay.
More explicit. Like my intention is to go deeper than just surface level. So
Mhm.
where do you feel like I've done that well and where could I go deeper? The more specific question you
Mhm.
ask, the more helpful the feedback
Okay.
always is. Great.
Okay.
I'm
Yeah.
excited.
Yay.
See
Me
this.
too. I think this will be fun.
Yeah. I want to see one last thing about the nurture piece and
Mm.
texts afterwards.
Mhm.
You can build that plane as you fly it. Don't wait until A to Z is finished. Let's get the
Okay.
quiz going. Then you can start getting the quiz out there in the world. You're
Okay.
nurturing your list anyhow with content. So just
Mhm.
because people don't get the official nurture sequence before being in your world, that's no problem at
Okay.
all. So don't be perfect about this.
Okay. No, that's
All right.
good. That's good to know because I would wait. So it could just be to start with like follow me on Instagram and then I can follow up with them
Yep.
anyway with the text
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, full disclosure, I think there are actually 2 results on my quiz that I still haven't written the nurture sequences. Yeah. So we do our best
We
and
just do what we can.
better every day. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Valerie, thanks for coming on the show. This was really
Okay.
fun to brainstorm with you.
It was. Thanks for having me. I'm glad to have these ideas to walk away with.
Great. I'll check the Facebook group for your post
Mhm.
and keep me posted on your progress. Thanks,
Okay.
Valerie.